All right, guys. So our next topic takes us to the Marvel Cinematic Universe here, coming out with some information on the Blade movie that was announced, starring Mahershala Ali, where we haven't really gotten any new information. Of really, no new info has come out about it since the announcement that Mahershala was going to be playing Blade. I mean, even I think during the Disney press conference thing, that just the one that just recently happened, that was still the same announcement. I think they mentioned again, I think Feige was just like, "Yeah, Mahershala is still playing Blade," and that was pretty much it, and there's been no new news or anything on it, but we have got, they have finally attached a writer to it, and it turns out they have gotten the scribe to the Watchmen series, which I'm excited for that because I
Yep.
thought that Watchmen series was dope, dude. Like, I really liked it. And I know a lot of people maybe didn't like it and have their own reservations about it because, the more not being involved in it in any way, but that's just how he is. Like, I know a lot of people weren't with it just because Alan Moore didn't want anything to do with it and blah, blah, blah. But he doesn't want anything to do with any of his work if other people are doing it. This is what it is.
Yeah.
This is how he is. But I thought it was great. And for all intents and purposes, for them to go in and make really like a true sequel to the graphic novel is a pretty large undertaking. And I thought they did a great job. I loved the show. I thought it was great. I'm on the fence about the ending in all honesty, especially given that it doesn't look like they're actually going to be following it up, which is, I hate endings that set something up
And then nothing.
with no follow through.
Yeah.
Like,
Stupid.
kind of like I always hated the end of Matrix Revolutions, because it's like, you left me with a question mark. I mean, now we're finally getting Matrix 4, but they could still leave that open ended, which I'm worrisome that they will. But what do you guys think of Stacy Osei-Kuffour? Or I think I said it better off camera.
I was gonna
Stacy
say-
Osei-Kuffour. I know I'm butchering this name, but what do you think of her being attached to Blade?
I think it's kind of cool. I mean, the Watchmen show is really good and definitely a lot different than the movie, but for that kind of show, she did well. And I think, with Blade being kind of a darker toned movie, story, whatever you want to say, I think that would go hand in hand, really.
Yeah, true. Oh, that was good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't, the I don't know if politics is the right word. The politics of Watchmen and more not wanting them to do more, and DC kind of ignoring, or Warner Brothers ignoring his wishes. All that aside, I don't think too many people would watch Watchmen and say that it wasn't a very well scripted and well produced show. I mean, the story narratively flowed perfectly. They didn't bring up a lot of plot points that didn't have any bearing on other parts of the story. They didn't leave things open ended as far as the things that the progression of the story to the end. It didn't they didn't just do ex machina things into it to solve problems in the story and stuff. It was a very well scripted story. So having somebody from that has that kind of pedigree that's worked in on a show that was that good is encouraging. I mean, it's not surprising. It's Marvel, and they they are on the ball when it comes to stuff like this. So
Big true.
Yeah.
all that's not surprising in any way, shape, or form. And I mean, I think it's also worth noting that they got an African American writer to write an African American character. I mean, I think that brings some relevance or some I don't know what the right word is, some realism to it that, her experience as an African American will, hopefully lend authenticity to the way the character is written in the movie as well.
Yeah.
So
That's a good point.
Speaking of which, it goes to show that Kuffour's hiring she is the first black female writer to pen a Marvel movie, and then they also have Nia DaCosta, who was the first black woman to direct a Marvel movie, as she is directing Captain Marvel 2. So they're making some strides forward in that, because we've commented before that they went 20 some odd movies with white male leads. Like,
Yeah.
no fault in Marvel. Like, I don't think it was too much of like an actual thing, but there's
wasn't
always
intentional.
there's always been that barrier in Hollywood in general, where it's just like the representation wasn't always there, and like there's definitely It's good that it's changing.
Yeah.
100%.
And
Because I mean, it
they
was
found
even just women directing in general was rare to begin with, let alone people of color, women of color. It's just more and more barriers that are coming down, which is
Yeah,
good.
that's good.
and I think Marvel has found with the success of Captain Marvel and some of their other, um, films and TV shows that, just make good films, make good product, and people are gonna watch. I mean, you
Mhm.
know, up until, I obviously, we are really into the movie making business and knowing, like, who the directors are and stuff, but I have plenty of friends that couldn't pick Joe and, oh god, what's his name? The Russo brothers couldn't pick him out of a
Oh,
lineup if
yeah.
you gave them $1,000,000. I mean, I think for much of the general audience, these types of things don't they don't influence them the way that maybe movie theaters think and stuff. But I do think that having an African American director or writer, like I said, adds a sense of authenticity to some of these shows and products that you may not get by having a white male person write it. They don't have the same world experience that those people do, and so there's little nuances and things that they can throw into these movies or these scripts that, like I said, a white male couldn't.
Mhm.
So, and
Yeah.
and it's not to make the movie, it's not just doing it just to do it. It's to get those little bits and things that you wouldn't otherwise have that just add that just push the movie from being maybe a good movie to a great movie or an exceptional movie.
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, guys, question is, what do you think about Stacy Osei-Kuffour? I think I said it better that time. I don't know for sure. I've never heard anybody audibly say the woman's name, so I don't know. I'm going with that one. I'm going with that one. What do you think of her being the writer for the upcoming Blade movie? And are you excited for the Blade movie? Because the other thing that I'm super excited for with the Blade movie is you got an Oscar award-winning actor in Mahershala Ali, who also played Cottonmouth. So they're just going to, I guess, bypass that little thing, which honestly goes to show that, Feige has never really considered those Netflix shows to be part of the MCU per se. Because I don't think they'd be, casting the same guy. But at the same time, when you got Mahershala Ali calling you up and saying, yeah, I'll play Blade, you let him play whatever he wants to play. But in my opinion. So, but what do you think about this? Down in the comment section below, let us know.